The rain came without warning, pouring in torrents as Enugu's street vendors scrambled to shelter their wares. Amara Okonkwo held her worn umbrella tightly, her nursing uniform already soaked from the waist down. After another exhausting shift at the government hospital, she only wanted to get home, boil some yam, and sleep. But fate had different plans. Near the Ogbeat market, she spotted a figure curled beneath a pharmacy's rusted shutter. A man, blind, judging by the dark glasses and white cane. He was drenched, trembling. "Uncle, are you all right?" she asked, her voice tinged with concern. "I'll be fine, just waiting for the rain to stop," he murmured. His voice was calm, but defeated. Amara hesitated. She didn't know this man, but something about the way he spoke, so measured, so broken, touched her. "I live close by. Come and dry off. It's no trouble." He lifted his head slightly. "You're kind." That night, she made him pepper soup and laid a mat in her small living room. He introduced himself simply as David. No last name, no questions asked. Amara didn't push. In the days that followed, David became a quiet presence in her home, always listening, never imposing. And in that silence, something began to grow. David never asked for help, but Amara offered it anyway, his meals, his baths, his daily walks. He never complained, and his calmness calmed her too. He spoke very little of his past, only dropping breadcrumbs of tragedy, an accident, a fallout, lost family. Amara assumed he'd gone blind recently. His hands were soft, his posture too straight for someone who'd lived on the streets long. Still, she let herself enjoy his company. She told him about her late mother, how her father had vanished when she was 10, and how nursing became her lifeline. He listened like no one ever had. One night, she hummed as she cooked ogbono soup. David, seated nearby, suddenly turned toward her voice. "Your voice, it reminds me of someone I once loved," he said, his expression unreadable behind the glasses. Amara paused. "I didn't mean to stir memories." "You didn't," he whispered. "You softened them." Their fingers brushed once. A current passed between them, unspoken but undeniable. But even as Amara's heart opened, she noticed things. How David always knew where things were, even when she moved them. How he walked unassisted at night. How his phones, cheap burner types, always stayed off. She started to wonder if David was hiding more than just his eyes. It happened on a Tuesday morning. Amara returned from work early to find the apartment empty. David was gone. Panic surged in her chest. His cane, his bag, everything was missing. Had he left? Had something happened? But then she saw the newspaper on the table. The headline hit her like thunder. "Missing heir to Obiakor Empire returns from the dead." And beneath it, a photograph. A clearer, sharper version of the man who had lived in her house for weeks. No glasses. Eyes open. Smiling. David Obiakor. Billionaire. Heir. Presumed dead after a plane crash 6 months ago. The room spun. Later that evening, he returned. "I'm sorry," he said softly. "I didn't plan to deceive you. I needed to know if kindness still existed, if love could find me without money." Amara didn't speak. Her heart raced with a strange mix of betrayal and relief. "You lied to me," she whispered. "I only told you the truth that mattered. Everything else, I was just afraid you wouldn't look at me the same if you knew." She looked at him, really looked, and realized the man she loved was still standing there. But trust was a delicate thing, and hers had been cracked. For days, Amara kept her distance. The apartment that once felt like a sanctuary now felt like a stage. She replayed every moment, every joke, every touch, and wondered what had been real. David didn't leave. He stayed in the room, quiet and remorseful. One evening, she found a note on the table. It read, "You were the only home I found when I had none. I'll leave tomorrow if you ask me to." That night, she sat beside him. "Why didn't you just tell me the truth?" "Because I didn't know who I was anymore," he confessed. "And then I met you, and I wanted to be someone worthy of your love. Not your pity, not your awe, just a man." Amara's walls softened. He hadn't bought her affection. He had earned it through vulnerability, through silence, through shared humanity. "I never loved you because of who you were," she finally said. "But I needed to know you trusted me enough to tell me." He nodded slowly. "Can we start again?" She smiled faintly. "Not as nurse and beggar. Not as heir and commoner, just Amara and David. They held hands, no more secrets, no more lies. In that small Enugu apartment, love finally stood without disguise.